Hey guys, what's going on? Faramar here, and today I'm bringing you guys a Necrolord tips and tricks video for Feral Druid. In 9.3, it's viewed to be probably the best covenant for Feral, right alongside Kyrian. A lot of Ferals have been talking about Kyrian as well. Necrolord is still feeling really strong though. Its roles in comps like Jungle Cleave has shifted a little bit, and I'll go over that as well in this video. So let's go ahead and dive into some things that people are asking about mostly, and that's what legendaries are good. What are you running? I see every single Feral Druid stream popping off with, man, have you tried this legendary? You tried this legendary combo? What do you guys think about this one? These are the two legendaries that I've actually had the most success with myself, and the first one is going to be Cat-Eye Curio. And you might be saying to yourself, what the hell is Cat-Eye Curio? This legendary was actually super hyped at the start of the expansion, but fell to the wayside to things like Fearful Symmetry and Draft and Celestial Spirits, right? You don't really see any Ferals running Cat-Eye Curio anymore. But I actually really like this legendary, and what it does is essentially gives you 60 more base energy, as well as refunds 30% of energy that you spend on clear casted abilities. So normally clear casted abilities will cost 0 energy, but an ability that you use then will not only have its cost reduced to 0, but it'll actually give you energy back. So you're gonna have more energy with this than you knew what to do with. The other legendary that I actually really am enjoying as Necrolord is the Natural Order as well, which is the Barkskin Tank legendary. Now what the Barkskin Tank legendary does is increases your Barkskin's effectiveness by 10%, so it's now a 30% damage reduction instead of 20. And then it also, if you use Barkskin while you're in bear form, will give you a Frenzied Regen and an Iron Fur. Thus, when Barkskin ends and you're still in bear form, it'll also give another Frenzied Regen, and it'll give you an Iron Fur. So it's an extremely tanky legendary to run. Necrolord Feral is already really tanky, so this just gives you a little bit more, right? Your Hunter's already super tanky with their Feigned Death legendary. Healers usually have good cooldowns they can use on themselves, and if they're not using those cooldowns on you, right, it gives the Hunter more sustainability as well. So playing like this, keeping dots on 2 different targets with the Cat-Eye Curio legendary or the Barkskin legendary, right, is it's actually a really fun way to play. It's kind of a hit and run play style that Feral gets, which Feral's always been pretty good at that with bleeds, right? It was only until recently that they became more bite focused, but back when Ferals were bleed focused, you would kite around a lot, you would run away from your enemies a lot, you'd play that kind of, passive aggressive kind of play style. You go in, you put the bleeds on them, you get out. You go in, you get the stun on them, you get out, right? And now with these sorts of legendaries, you can actually do that again. Cat-Eye Curio being the offensive choice there, and the Natural Order as well being the defensive choice there, just depending on how you personally want to play as a Feral Druid. So let's go over the talents. So basically, the level 15 through 45 talents, you will keep those in every situation. Then the level 50 talents here, I recommend running Feral Frenzy with either Cat-Eye Curio or Barkskin Legendary, but if you're running Cat-Eye Curio, you can run Moment of Clarity and get even more energy, or you can run Blood Talons since you're keeping dots up on both targets, and this will give you, bigger rips on the targets and thus more pressure. Now your PvP talents, I essentially never switch out a Leader of the Pack or Strength of the Wild. There are some niche cases where I'll switch out Strength of the Wild, but most of the time I keep it. And then Wicked Claws I will change as I do play Jungle Cleave and my Hunter has an MS effect. I'll typically run Thorns into double melee comps. I'll run Freedom of the Herd into Boomkin comps in order to get my healer out of Root Beams in case the Boomkin is cross-CCing my Hunter's pet. King of the Jungle is really good with Cat-Eye Curio because you're keeping 2 rips up on the targets at all times, and this will give you more survivability and it will give you more movement speed. Ferocious Wound I don't really run a whole lot anymore. Fresh Wound it's an okay talent. It's always been pretty under par in my opinion. And then Savage Momentum is really good in the caster comps because you get your cooldowns back a lot faster whenever you land a kick on them. So Ferals have a lot of options around their PvP talents. Leader of the Pack, I'd say, is pretty mandatory. You basically want to always run this. So anyways, play with that as you will. And yeah, let's go ahead and jump into some rotational tips and tricks here. So we're going to go over the primary opener rotation, and this is to get the most amount of damage out as possible. Typically, when you do this, you want your hunter to be stunning and trapping the healer at the same time. So that this damage, you're forcing the enemy team to react to it, okay? So the rotation typically is going to be a Rake into a Tiger's Fury, and then you will Feral Frenzy, you'll Berserk, Feral Frenzy, then you'll Maim, and then you can Moonfire, put up a Rip, and then you can bash out of the Maim if you want as well for a triple stun opener, depending on what you're planning on doing with that bash, okay? So I'll kind of go over that opener here. So that's the opener. That was without Berserk, by the way. The Berserk, I haven't really started, you know, focusing that in a whole lot, just because of the fact that I don't have the 4 set yet, but it will give you the extra combo points on that opener, and it will give you basically a faster Maim, right? So let's go ahead and go over the other damage combination, and this is a much more simple combination. This is assuming you're already in the arena, you're already out of stealth, you're fighting the targets, okay? You have 5 combo points. You always want to be having 5 combo points when your hunter is ready to go for a trap. So you need to keep an eye on your hunter's trap cooldown, and then be ready with 5 combo points when they're ready to land that trap. Okay, so what you're going to want to do is you're going to close the gap on your target, assuming you're kiting or you're running away, and then you're going to Maim, Tiger's Fury, Feral Frenzy, Adaptive Swarm, Bite, and then you can Shred and Rip and everything after that. But that initial Maim, Feral Frenzy, Bite are the crucial pieces to this, as well as the Adaptive Swarm after the Feral Frenzy, because that's going to greatly increase the damage that your Feral Frenzy does to the target, okay? So here we go. Right now, I only have Moonfire on the target, but honestly, it's fine. This burst is really high. And then you can even bash out of the Maim, right? Let's say your target doesn't have a trinket, right? Or the healer's in full CC still. It just makes your opponents react to you. And if they don't react to you, if they don't have any way to react to you, they just die in the stuns. Okay? So let's go over a few tips on how to survive as a Necrolord Feral now. One of the main things that you can do is leverage Adaptive Swarm. So in bear form, I recommend that you have a self-cast Adaptive Swarm macro, which you can put on yourself. And then immediately after you do that, you can Frenzied Regen. Boom. Big healing, right? Because Adaptive Swarm increases heal over time effects on allies. And Frenzied Regen is considered a heal over time effect, even though it's only 3 seconds. It's really short duration, but it heals. It has already a very high heal. And then adding in the additional Adaptive Swarm multiplier on it, it's like that usually will get you to about 70% health from, you know, below. Like it's a lot of health. So just trust me on that. Another thing that you can do also, if you're running the Barkskin Legendary, is you can actually, you know, with Adaptive Swarm on yourself, you can cast Barkskin, you get that Frenzied Regen, right? But let's say your healer's still in CC, you're still dying, maybe you need just an extra second, right? You can actually cancel that Barkskin off of yourself, and it will instantly proc that second Frenzied Regen on yourself. So that can give you a lot of extra healing, because normally those Frenzied Regens won't land in the, you know, 12 seconds of your Adaptive Swarm. So, yeah. That's just another way to kind of squeeze out the max min out of that Frenzied Regen healing from your Barkskin Legendary. Then I see a lot of ferals doing this part wrong, so I'll kind of cover this. So when gates open and you already have fleshcraft on yourself, it actually reduces the fleshcraft to about 20k health. So no matter what your fleshcraft says before the gates open, it will be reduced to about 20k, a 20k value when the gates open. So what you want to do is when the gate timer reaches 4 seconds, you'll shift into bear form and you'll cast fleshcraft. And the reason you want to cast fleshcraft and wait until 4 seconds to shift into bear form is because when you shift into bear form with the Earth Sign Vigor Conduit, this health buff will actually buff your overall value for your fleshcraft. And because you're doing it at the 4 second mark of the gates opening, your fleshcraft won't be reduced in size when the gates open. So this will give you the most upfront shield as a feral druid, and then yeah, you'll have way more survivability. And then obviously when fleshcraft's back up, try and find a safe spot, bear form, fleshcraft again. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys liked the video, drop a like. If you disliked the video, feel free to drop a dislike and a comment below why you didn't like it. If you have any questions or anything like that, please drop a comment below. I read every comment, positive or negative. I don't care. I just like the feedback. So if you guys have feedback for me, feel free to drop it. You can catch me streaming live on twitch.tv/Faramar if you want to ask live questions while I'm playing the game. I typically stream Raid. Sometimes I'll stream Arena. It just depends on when my partners can get online. And then I'm also Hero of the Alliance in RBGs, so if you wanted to watch some feral RBGs, you could tune into that as well. Thank you guys for watching the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys learned something, and I will see you guys later. Peace.